What's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we're bringing it back to our Terminator preparation marathon, because guess what's finally out on digital this week? Terminator Dark Fate. Definitely a movie I was really looking forward to, despite all the hate it may have gotten, because I basically see myself as a pretty big fan of the Terminator franchise. Sure, some aren't as good as they think they are, but they're definitely a lot of fun, especially if Arnold Schwarzenegger is attached in some way or other, since I consider him to be the soul of a Terminator film. I didn't know what to expect with this one though, because nobody has liked a Terminator film since T2, but this one erased the other films from existence, so there was always that potential for greatness here. But do we get it, or do you need Veridity to actually enjoy it? Let's get cracking. This review is brought to you by the word of the day: Veridity, youth, innocence, or inexperience. Terminator Dark Fate follows around a young woman named Danny who finds herself in the middle of a war as a machine from the future is sent to kill her for some unknown reason. Thankfully, a mysterious woman also travels back from the future to protect her from that machine, and the help doesn't stop there. Sarah Connor shows up, now a Terminator hunter, and of course Arnold's T-800 model has to show up too. Alright, so this is the kind of movie that I feel like is impossible to really talk about without spoiling you, because the foundation of what makes this film tick is a huge elephant in the room. I'll still refrain from giving away that big secret, and instead I'll generalize it. This film kind of goes off of the notion that humanity will always find a way, which of course is a really nice sentiment, albeit a bit cliche, and we've heard it 1,000 times over. However, it doesn't work for Terminator. It never has in the past, which is why they've never attempted to say that. But in Terminator Dark Fate, that's what it's going off of. Humanity will always find a way. Why is that a sentiment that doesn't work for Terminator, you ask? Because in every other film, humanity couldn't find a way. There was only one way, through John Connor, leader of the Resistance, savior of all mankind. He got people through the extermination of our kind. The idea that humanity always finds a way really just means nothing matters anymore. That element of urgency, or the idea that the future is hanging on by a thread, it doesn't really exist in this film, because regardless of what'll happen, humanity will always find a way. That's the biggest downfall of the film. The second biggest downfall of the film is that it's unnecessary. Functionally, this film is now the real canon T3, yet it almost does the same exact thing as T3, right down to their excuse as to why the future is still filled with killer robots. In T3, the excuse was, you didn't stop Skynet or Judgment Day, you just delayed it. Judgment Day is inevitable. In Dark Fate, the excuse was, you did stop Skynet, but now there's this other thing, this other company, this other system that ends up doing the same exact thing anyway. It's not a very strong excuse. Once again, there's two sides of the same coin. Humanity will always find a way, and apparently, so will the machines. I guess in a mirroring sense, that's poetic, but it also begs the question as to why this film had to be made. Another similarity to the T3 is the Terminator itself, which seemed to be the TX from Rise of the Machines, but maybe with a slight modification or upgrade. So not utterly original, but I guess unique enough. But ignoring all that, this film has the same problem as any Terminator sequel, that if you look at it as a continuation or a sequel, at whatever, then you're going to have a problem, because as a film on its own, it's fine. It's good, actually. It has a lot of fantastic action. The visuals are pretty top-notch. Arnold Schwarzenegger is great. Linda Hamilton is amazing to see again. A modern audience that didn't grow up watching T2 and only has passing knowledge of it might actually love what this film has to offer. It's not a bad movie. On its own, it really isn't. But it does have a few elements that are just going to anger the audience, especially the opening scene of the film. A lot of people watching might just check out at that point and judge everything else that happens as trash. And I don't necessarily think that's the case. Instead, I just think that Terminator Dark Fate was a mostly unnecessary film. It rehashes T1 almost exactly, just with modern visuals, better action, and a glimmer of more humor. Just like T3, it was made because they wanted to make another Terminator film, which is fine, but trust me when I say you don't have to watch it. I scored Terminator Dark Fate 76%, 76 out of 100 possible stars, granting it the letter grade of C+, which I'm sure is a higher score than probably most people put it, but again, the movie is fine on its own. If it weren't a sequel, my score would probably be higher, but the fact that it has those existing problems docked the points a little bit. I don't know, take that as you will, guys. If you head over to my channel, I also have a ranking video covering all the Terminator films from worst to best. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure that you do. My rankings are usually vastly different than most others, but I do try my best to explain my thoughts behind why. Don't forget to tell me what you thought about Dark Fate in the comments down below. And as for YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button if you like this review and would like to see some others like it. Hit the thumbs up button because that always helps out my channel. And don't forget about the little bell icon because that helps notify you when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!